Happy College Football 26 Dynasty Deep Dive Day, everyone. Some really good stuff here in this Dynasty Deep Dive. I think a real kind of just building upon the foundation that was set last year. Real coaches progression, dev trait upgrades now for players. You can individually update players, attributes. There's a lot of really good stuff. Trophy room, all those sorts of stuff added in here, and really good stuff. But the thing that I was most interested in the deep dive, in the written deep dive, was some of the changes made to Teambuilder. Remember, we got Teambuilder back last year along with college football. I didn't expect that. Personally, I didn't think that we were going to get Teambuilder right away, but this year, Teambuilder has been expanded. There's been some new features added to Teambuilder, and I'm really excited about it. So let's kind of talk about this a little bit here. Lots of performance updates. So if you don't have the best computer or whatever, it should work on even more devices than it did last year. So I think that's really nice to see. You can import your teams from College Football 25. If you already have a team made and you don't want to go through the process of making another one, you can import your team from last year's game into this year's game, and you'll be ready to go. So if you have a team that you made and you really liked it and you want to bring it back for College Football 26, you're going to be able to do that. So I think that's really cool. One of the things they did add here, which I think is great, is that you can finally really upgrade or kind of define your program. I won't say upgrade, with the school grades, right? So you can set custom school grades when you are going through making your program. You can also, Powerhouse, Pro Factory, Cupcake. Try to establish real identity of your program is something that they've added into this year's game. You can, change your team's prestige level and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's really cool. So I think I'm really excited to see that. You got, you can upgrade your championship contender, program tradition, campus lifestyle, stadium atmosphere, pro potential, brand exposure, academic prestige, and athletic facilities. So, let's say you wanted to make kind of a Ivy League school, right? So you can set that academic prestige all the way to A+, right? You can maybe take your program tradition and campus lifestyles, make those like a B. Athletic facilities can be like a B, and then everything else can kind of be, pro potential. That could be like an F, right? So you can really, I think, you're going to have the ability to really customize your program with those school grades. So I think that's something that's really cool. Also, there's going to be enhanced roster editing. Rosters editing now lives its own dedicated tab and has been enhanced with deeper customization designed to give you more control over each player on your team. So that's pretty good. You're going to be able to see your team's overall offensive and defensive ratings at all times at the top of the website. So when you're editing, you can get a really good idea of kind of the overall of your team as you're editing it. So if there's like a certain mark you want to hit, you're going to be able to do that as you're editing your team. So also in here, you can be able to edit. I don't think you could do this in the college football team builder. You could do it for the one in Madden, but in college, you were all stuck with the same names. This year, you're going to be able to change first and last names. You're going to be able to put previous redshirt. Has the player already used their redshirt year? You can have that set in here. Their high school star rating and deal breakers. You're going to be able to, mess with their deal breaker, set it to whatever you want. You're also in this game, if you read through or watched the video, there are dynamic deal breakers. So the deal breaker threshold will be determined when you import the team in the Dynasty mode based off the player's final overall rating. You'll also be able to change their skill ratings and abilities. So you'll be able to kind of pick their archetype. You'll be able to pick their development trait, their player potential, their physical abilities, and their mental abilities as well, all within the team builder. So I think that's really cool, kind of being added. They also added generic stadiums. This is something I wanted to see added into the game, so we didn't have to use another school stadium and have all their branding around it. Only 3. They've added 3 generic stadiums and a high school stadium to kind of give you more flexibility when creating or customizing your teams. All generic stadiums are small to medium sized and do not feature any team branding. So For College Football 27, I'll eventually make a wish list for that, what I'm going to want to see out of Teambuilder. They said they want to keep building on these features year after year, so I'll be on them for that. I will absolutely be on them for that. What I want to see is there's some of these stadiums that are bowl stadiums that no college team uses. So I would like to see maybe some of these bowl stadiums being able to be used in Teambuilder as well, minus of course the Teambuilder branding, but that's what I'd like to see. So another thing they added in here is pipelines when you're going through creating your team. And everyone knows pipelines are a powerful part of the Dynasty recruiting experience. Having a stronghold in a particular part of the country can completely change your recruiting dynamic. In College Football 26, you now have full control over your pipelines your Teambuilder has. Within the Program tab, you can fully customize your pipeline, including where your team has recruiting influence and how strong that influence has. Each pipeline is assigned a tier from 1 to 5, with Tier 5 representing your strongest recruiting presence and Tier 1 being the weakest. You can configure this on a pipeline-by-pipeline basis, giving you more flexibility to shape your recruiting footprint based on your school's history or your own strategic priorities. So you remember one of the issues I had last year with my Milwaukee Tech Dynasty was that all of our pipelines were set basically to Louisiana. That was a team in Milwaukee. Our pipeline shouldn't have been Louisiana, should have been Wisconsin. One of the things I believe Bordeaux talked about on his Twitter, I believe he said, you still have to import your school over your existing one, and although you pick up less stuff this year, you still inherit their set location for the proximity to home school grade. So that's like the only downside, but we do have the ability to set the pipeline. So if I do a Milwaukee Tech team again, I can easily kind of set that pipeline to be, again, Wisconsin. I can set all my pipelines to be set to, if I were to replace the Louisiana Tech school or something like that, I can set all the pipelines to be, something that makes sense, essentially, right? Instead of being in a weird position of having a southern proximity, we're still going to have a southern proximity to home plus grade. So that's the only thing that does kind of annoy me a little bit. I really hope that gets fixed for College Football 27. I'm sure it has something to just do with the fact that you're replacing a team, which is why they should take my one thing that I said in my Teambuilder thing is let us have a couple free slots to add in a team so we don't have to be in the situation where we're replacing a team and taking on all their stuff. That's less this year. And one of the things that is less is rivalries, I believe. So, again, rivalries are a core piece of college football. Now you have complete control of your Teambuilder's rivalries. Within the Program tab, you can now create up to 5 rivalries for your Teambuilder team. For each rivalry, fill out historical information, rival team, rivalry name, the first year it was played, all-time series record, who won the last matchup, and the score of the last game. So that is really cool. I just wanted custom rivalries in general, but I did say, let us come up with a name to some of these rivalries. So, again, like I mentioned in my kind of wishlist video, if I was going to do like a rivalry between Milwaukee Tech and like the Wisconsin Badgers, I would put up a whole name for that. And now I can do that in College Football 26. That's something that I wanted to see, and it's in here. So those are some big changes that they've added to Teambuilder this year. I'm excited for it. All the other Dynasty stuff sounds great, honestly. There's just so much in this Teambuilder. Coaching attire, they've all the changes made it to the College Football Playoff they have in this game. All sorts of quality of life stuff they've added. They've changed the scheduling. You have protected rivalry games now as well. So you have protected opponents. Each school gets 2 protected opponents. So I had that issue with the, I believe it was the Western Michigan Dynasty where, we had a season or two there where we didn't play Eastern or Central Michigan at all. I believe one year we didn't, for the last 2 years of that Dynasty, we didn't play Central Michigan, or Eastern Michigan. We didn't play Eastern Michigan at all, and I couldn't protect those games. So now I can go in, if I was going to do Western Michigan Dynasty again, I'm going to be able to protect those rivalry games, and so they could come up on the schedule every single year. So that is a really cool thing to have protected opponents. Also, they added formation subs, all the different new player archetypes and new positions they've added. Just again, all sorts of new stats they've added. They've redone tiebreaker logic. They've just a lot of stuff here, a lot of really good quality of life stuff here. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool that they've done all this stuff here. The history tab they've added in here, and wear and tear, custom settings for wear and tear. You can really set how your wear and tear is going to be. So just a lot of really cool stuff here. Also, season and career health they have in here. So I'm going to be interested to kind of see how that works out. So again, just a lot of really cool stuff here. Nothing, I would say, that's like too big, but I didn't think Dynasty Mode needed too many big things. It just needed everything that they've added, or everything they had last year, just needed to be better and slightly expanded in the ways that it needed to be expanded. And I think they've done that. So I think within 2 years, they've created a really just an amazing foundation for Dynasty. And then, you know, as we play the game again, we'll probably come up with ideas on what we think needs to be in here. Right now, I'm kind of blanking on what else they could really add. I'm sure, you know, someone in the comment sections or something like that will kind of let me know. So College Football 26, we are fast approaching it. I can't wait to get into some Dynasty. And if you're a big fan of Dynasty, check out my last video, or not my last video I did earlier, where I break down what teams I think would be pretty good for your Dynasty in College Football 26. So go click that right here. It should be in the middle of the screen. Let me know what you guys think of this deep dive, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.